We are recording.
Yep. Welcome into the Preferred Experience. It is hotter than 3 Hades outside, but it's 61 degrees in here. In the Podcastatron Prattville Live Studios 5,150 watt lounge.
That's the Mega Castertron 5000.
I just about had it. Just about had
it. You're close. It was the Podcastatron 5000, but once we expanded, we had to make it the Mega Castatron.
Mega Castatron. I got you. Keep adding stuff every week. Will Barrett and Millzer here. When we got our partners in crime with us today, Donny, Burnett, and Chip Powell, and this is going to be a special episode of the Preferred Experience. We're 4 episodes in. This is our episode number 4, and we've been trying to pick the right time to do this. And like we said before, the statute of limitations on this have gone away, and now we're free to talk about the events of October 31st, 2010. Oof. We're going to call this the Miami Experience.
Yeah, and when did we actually get on the flight?
At October 31st, Friday 2010.
At 6
a.m.
6:23 a.m.
Let me set the scene for you here.
Yeah.
Okay. It's the golden era of Prattville Lions football.
Yeah.
We've just ripped off a state championship in 07, 08, 09, 3-time Alabama state champions.
06, 07, 08.
6, 7,
6, 07, 08.
Yeah.
And we got robbed in 9.
Right.
Yeah. That was the...
so we had made 4...
That was the
backwards pass.
We made 5 consecutive appearances in the state championship football game at the highest level of Alabama competition, and we won it 3 times.
Yeah.
Should have won it 4 times. So Prattville is now a national powerhouse in the eyes of the high school football world.
Everybody wants a shot at
Everybody wants a shot at this team from Central Alabama, the Prattville Lions, including this team of Mandingo Warriors from Central Miami, called the Miami Central Rockets.
That was quite the, considering all 22 of them signed Division I scholarships. It was pretty much an unbelievable.
And a lot of them were age eligible for the NFL when they left high school.
The quarterback, Cato, he is actually the all-time leading passer for Marshall.
Yes. And
that's ahead of Byron Leftwich and Chad Pennington.
And running back Devonte Freeman
is still playing.
Is still playing in the NFL and almost won a Super Bowl for the Falcons by himself.
Yeah.
Well,
and that was the morning of the discovery of Chipotle sauce.
Right.
Chipotle.
Right.
We were at Subway.
At Subway in the airport.
Because that's all there is in the Montgomery
6
Airport.
6 o'clock in the morning.
6 a.m. Subway in the Montgomery Airport. And it's 2010. This is 12 years ago.
Yeah.
Chipotle sauce is kind of a new thing.
Yeah.
Subway's featuring it in their breakfast menu.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Donnie's never heard of this stuff.
I hadn't either.
And
it looked good.
Donnie orders some kind of
good.
flatbread wrap, and she says, "Would you like some Chipotle sauce with that?" And Donnie looks flabbergasted, looks over at Chip, and he goes, "Did she say Chip Powell?
Chip Powell sauce?
Yeah.
I think she said Chip Powell sauce. You have your own sauce?"
Yeah.
And it went downhill from that point forward.
At that point, we all should have known this is not going to go well.
Woo. Man.
And just to summarize it real quick, I know we're going to talk about in between, but we left at 6 that morning. When did we come back? When did we get on?
We got back Saturday
morning at about 7 a.m.
Yeah.
It was a red eye. It was a red eye in.
That's what I'm telling you. It was
red eye
about
out.
24 hours.
And the only person got sleep was Millzer.
The only person that got to sleep.
A little bit of sleep. He could have gotten more. He could have had more, but we stopped that. And we'll get into that. So the Lions are coming to Miami with a championship caliber team. Quarterback Justin Thomas, junior quarterback at the time.
Yeah.
And in the words of one of the Miami coaches, the fastest white dude he's ever seen.
Yeah.
And that was documented by one coach last week who told us that's exactly what he said.
Justin Thomas, now the all-time record holder at Georgia Tech for rushing yards by a quarterback, and maybe in ACC history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now our current quarterback coach for the Prattville Lions.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was great to have him back on board.
Wow, what a catch!
And we need a dark visor, and his name needs to be Ray Smith.
Right.
Yeah.
All we know about him is that he's been a resident of the state of Alabama for the last 24 years.
He transferred in.
Hey, the transfer portal. Let's stretch it. Let's see how far the transfer portal really works.
So, guys, we've been doing this for about 3 years now at this point, and I thought we had hit it because we had an all expenses paid, including airlines, for the broadcast team to go broadcast the game. I was like, there's nothing that's going to stop us. We are bulletproof now. We're in an airplane. We didn't pay for it.
Hey, and how did we ask? We need our security guy too. And he goes, "Yeah, take him along."
Get him.
Because Mike Rogers' son Cal was on the team, and he wanted to make the trip. So we just added a quote security guy.
Security.
And he was the first. He started the.
That was the birth of security.
And he was excellent too. Mike Rogers set the bar for security for chief of security for the next 12 years. There's not been anyone like Mike Rogers.
Considering we were all five separated on the plane, he kept good watch on making sure nobody messed with us on the plane.
I mean, he was a sky marshal essentially. I think he might have been carrying on the plane. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So we leave Montgomery straight to Miami on a plane about the size of a pack of gum. Land in the airport, and then.
No, wait a minute. We had to go north and then south.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. It wasn't like Atlanta. It was like Memphis.
We
went to
We went to
Memphis.
the cargo hub.
FedEx. The FedEx.
We
cargo
literally
hub.
went to Memphis.
Did we change planes? I don't even remember.
Yeah, we changed planes in Memphis, and then we had to turn around and fly right back over Montgomery.
That's right.
And then, going home when we left, which we'll get to, but we left Miami and went back to Memphis and then flew back to Montgomery.
I guess you get a better rate when you're flying a cargo plane.
I don't know. Maybe that's why that lady asked if we would hold these FedEx packages. I'm not real sure. I don't know.
You're sitting where we normally put them. So we land in Miami, and now we've got to get to the hotel to check in and then get out to Powell Stadium. The ride into Miami was interesting in itself from the airport.
Didn't we get the shuttle?
Yes, we took the airport shuttle.
We took the airport shuttle from Miami to the hotel.
Right, because nobody's renting a car.
Yeah. What was the name of the hotel? I can't remember.
The La Bamba. I don't have no idea.
It had a
rocking.
It had a
Royal something. I can't remember exactly what it was.
I think it was the Hotel Royal Essex.
Yeah, that's
It wasn't the Waldorf Astoria.
No, not at the wall.
No.
Will, I think me and you're the only one that caught that.
Right. Revenge of the Nerds.
Revenge of the
Part
Nerds.
two.
I'm sorry,
Nerds in
I didn't see that
Paradise, which is what we were that week. We were Nerds in Paradise. So we arrive at the hotel, and we're given strict orders at the hotel.
Oh yeah.
To not leave under any circumstance.
Do not cross the street.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty much what it was.
Yes. By Miami PD.
Yeah.
Do not leave. Do not cross the street. You will be killed. Like not you could. You will be.
You will be.
Yeah.
I mean, no joke. There was a double homicide 2 blocks from the hotel the night before.
That was, I remember Jeremy Cleveland telling the story about him and Steve and somebody else. It might have been, was it Wayne Mooney maybe? I'm not
Mooney was
sure.
El Presidente at the time.
Yeah.
They had to drive.
They were driving the equipment trailer,
Yes.
and they had the roads blocked, which was like a 4-lane major highway right there where the hotel was. And they wouldn't let them go down to the hotel because of the gunshots that was ringing through the neighborhood. And
Crossfire.
They had to give them a police. They said, we are giving you all police escort. You're not hauling this big equipment trailer right down the middle of what.
Jeremy said he when he had the lights and he stopped the truck and he got out of the truck and the guy started screaming, "Get back in the truck! Get back in the truck!" Jeremy go, what? Anyway.
So, yeah, and we've realized as maybe a few hours after we got there, how do you possibly pay for 115 kids plus staff to book hotels in Miami? You find the seediest place possible.
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible. Within the basement level of this place, Miami's hottest nightclub.
and it said that on the marquee.
Yes.
Miami's hottest nightclub.
Welcome to the Hotel Royal Essex featuring Miami's hottest nightclub.
It was called, and you know, remember the name of it?
No.
Le Club.
That's right. Le Club. Because that's French for the club.
And it's still operational to this day. I looked it up. It's still there.
And the sign, I remember reading the thing. $5,000 first prize in the costume contest.
Yes.
Because it was October 31st.
Oh, yeah.
Halloween night.
And folks, when we say the hottest nightclub in Miami, you know, oh, they just claiming that. There was Lamborghinis, Ferraris, limos, you name it. All that was in the parking lot.
Yes.
The line stretched out across the parking lot.
And you could
trying to get in.
You could tell exactly where the lions were in the hotel room because they were all pressed against the glass, watching these cars roll in.
You can imagine the coaches and people trying to keep 115 kids out of the hottest nightclub in Atlanta. I mean, in Miami.
Yeah. Maybe Atlanta too. We're not even sure.
Yeah.
We haven't run those numbers yet. But they get dressed and like they're having to dress out before they go to the field because there's not really a locker room suitable for that many kids. And so they're getting dressed and like some are in the ballroom, some are in the kitchen, some are in the lobby, you know, just all over the place. And the drive from the hotel to Powell Stadium is minimum 45 minutes. And the further you go, the less it looks like it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Right? It's getting more and more dangerous by the minute.
And, of course, since we're down there and we're not driving or anything because we flew in, so we took the cab.
We took Le Cab.
Yeah. Le Cab.
But before we took Le Cab, we went and ate lunch.
Oh, yeah.
Lunch.
I forgot about that, too.
Was that in the hotel?
That was
it was
right next door to the hotel.
Because remember we were
I
like,
got some good memories.
hey, if we can't walk across the street, can we walk next door? And the guy goes, well, you got to hurry. You cannot tarry around in the parking lot. You got to go straight to the restaurant.
And it was a really good $45 hamburger.
I had the
It was good food. I remember
I had the
wasn't it?
Neptune. I got to go a picture. Me and Stacy looked at it the other day. The Neptune platter. It was $49.98.
Neptune platter.
But what got Donny was
The little
the
bananas.
baby bananas. He'd never seen
What are these
plantains
baby
before.
bananas?
Well, why are they covered in brown sugar and fried?
So
But man, they were good.
They were good.
can
They were
you
good.
get plantains with Chip Powell sauce?
I think today you can.
Yeah.
Back then it was taboo. You couldn't.
Unbelievable.
So we get to Powell Stadium, start to get set up, and there's a DJ at Powell Stadium.
Yeah.
You remember who this was?
I know exactly who it was.
No. He wasn't the actual DJ. It was his equipment because he was actually
assistant.
coaching.
Because he was
Yes.
coaching.
He was the
That's
coach.
right. It was this DJ's equipment, but his son played, and he was an assistant coach.
And he was an assistant coach.
Yeah, he pretty much he was at Miami Central one year. He was at Miami Northwest when they were there. I mean, every time there was a good team, he somehow wound up being an assistant coach on that team. And who we're talking about, folks?
The Two Live Crew.
Uncle Luke Skywalker.
Uncle Luke.
Luther Campbell.
Oh, yeah.
Luther Campbell from the Two Live Crew.
Uncle
Yeah.
Luke.
And,
Uncle Luke.
And so I'm just going to say,
I mean,
growing up, when my picture of Miami was, of course, Miami Vice.
Yeah.
And then it turned into, as in high school, I was into the bass stuff, just, with the stereo systems and everything. And and it was all, Miami was the headquarters for, for all that kind of music. They had the Miami Bass Wars, DJ Magic Mike, all of them came from Miami. And so my picture of Miami was just, just rocking bass systems everywhere, growing up. That's what. So when I finally, as an adult, get to go to Miami, what's the first thing I do when I step in the stadium?
there it is.
I mean, you couldn't. It was drowned in the band out.
The whole
place
end
was,
zone was nothing but speakers.
Yeah.
Speakers.
Yeah, I remember that.
From all the way to like from inline to inline.
From inline to inline, stacked on top of one another.
Yeah.
I mean, there were 2 high, 3 high. I don't remember.
It was massive, and here comes out Miami Central onto the field, and they got on these ratty green and white jerseys. I mean, it looks like this is some kind of low budget team. We got a chance, but when you look at the players themselves, they're all like 22 years old.
20, yeah, because unlike the AHSAA, where if you're 19 prior to August 1, you can't play anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No such rule.
the rule in Florida is 21. So there's 2 years difference right there.
That's some men from boys.
It was a massive difference.
When a 17-year-old against a 19-year-old,
yeah,
or a 17-year-old now against a 22-year-old because he turned 22 on August the 2nd. Well, he's still eligible to play. This is a grown man.
Yes.
And they had 40 grown men.
With life experience.
Yes.
Okay,
Lots of life experience.
I looked it up real quick, going back to the club real fast before. So I just wanted to clarify this. It is now the Regency Miami Airport Hotel.
But it was an hour away from the
It's a
airport.
long way from the airport.
yeah.
But it's quite it's still
That's it.
It's still
That's
quite,
how we remember it right there.
Yeah.
That's it.
Pink and blue neon everywhere. So the game at the stadium, the game at Powell between the Miami Central Rockets and the Prattville Lions was a competitive game. If you remember correctly, it was 28-28 going into the fourth quarter. Yeah. And then we ran out of gas, and I think the final score was like 49-35.
Also remember the wind was blowing about 74 miles an hour.
About 74 miles an hour.
The turf was concrete with green carpet on top of it.
That's right.
It was like a Legion Field kind of field.
And
Legion
the
Field.
Rockets were fast.
They were fast, but
And what reminds me of something that you know how we can hear the PA at every stadium we ever go to. We can hear it, But the weirdest thing that ever happened to that was like at the end of 3 quarters, the Heat lead the Celtics 64-51. And you're going like,
of course, from around the region.
And it got bigger response than anything that happened.
Nobody cared about the football game, but the Miami was beating Boston.
So Miami's offense, we just really couldn't stop them. I mean, Rakeem Cato was as advertised, just pinpoint pass all over the field. And when they weren't passing, they're handing it off to Devonte Freeman, and he's just gashing up the middle.
They had a receiver that was a stud. I don't know where he went, but he went somewhere too.
But the only thing,
They all went somewhere.
Yeah.
they all went somewhere, yes. And our biggest counterpunch was Justin Thomas. Give him the ball, let him run around the edge, and they couldn't catch him. They couldn't catch him. I bet he had 300 yards rushing that night.
He had to have a lot.
But
He had a heck of a
Oh, remember when we went up into the press box when we opened the door and walked in, and there's that mouse trap.
yes.
That it wasn't your normal size mouse trap.
It was industrial
It was
strength.
like gigantic, and it took a crowbar to pull the bar back.
Yes.
Oh,
It's
God.
those little things that,
That makes you look around the rest of the
and
night.
you can go,
what is that trying to catch?
What are they trapping? Alligators or nutria or what?
like a robber trap, burglar trap or something. I mean, they were catching some big game with that.
That thing would have snapped Chip's toes off and them little flip flops that he had on.
And then, I know we're going to get to this too, but the action actually happened post game, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
For us, anyway.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
But we did had to, when we're sitting out there right after the game, the guys, the
Yeah,
administration.
we're going to get to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Our normal procedure is after the game is over, everybody abandon the press box except Millzer and let him do his thing, picking everything up and tucking everything in, because every time we do it, we just mess it up.
Yeah.
And it's crooked or something's in the wrong bag and he can't find it, and it's always my fault or
And so
Chip's fault.
So we're just sitting out in the bleachers watching everybody leave.
Hey, real quick, I look back on Max Preps on the stats from that game. The only thing they had was Justin Thomas's passing stats back then, but he was 11-18 for 192 yards throwing the ball.
Yeah, I bet he accounted for over 500 yards.
Easily
himself.
500 yards in that game.
Yeah.
So we're sitting out there in the press on the top row of the bleachers of Powell Stadium. Everybody's kind of leaving, and we're just waiting for Millzer to give us the cue to come pick up the stuff.
Hey,
here
come
comes
get
the
it.
administration from Miami Central.
Yeah.
What are y'all doing out here? What are you doing? We're just waiting. No. You got to go now.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, there's thousands of dollars of equipment.
Yeah.
Yeah. He sees what we got. He's like, y'all got to go before these lights go off. Before the lights of the stadium go off, you got to be gone.
Yeah.
You got to go.
It was like you were on a timer when they go off. It's like the old tennis court at Prattville. Once the lights go out, it's over.
They're off.
Your tennis match is done.
And we're thinking, well, LeCab is going to come pick us back up.
No.
Does anybody have the number for LeCab?
No, remember, I asked the guy, hey, can we call you when the game is over and to come pick us up? Because we don't have a way back. And that's when the cabbie said, we don't cabs don't come down here in the dark.
Yeah.
And I said, how we get out? And he goes, ain't no cab coming down here in the dark, man. Ain't nobody coming down here in the dark to get y'all.
And who flagged Jamie down, Coach Dubose, to go, hey, we got to ride with y'all?
Might have been Millzer.
Yeah. I think it was actually Mike Rogers that did it.
It could have been.
Because Millzer couldn't get out there.
No, it was Wayne. It was Wayne Mooney.
Mooney.
And we were like, we don't have a way back.
Wayne Mooney was the only guy from Prattville that was not scared.
He was not.
He wasn't.
Hey, I'll tell you right now, I'm going to stop him. I'm going to get him in that face.
It was Wayne Mooney. And Wayne said, y'all just get on the bus. And they were like, there's no room on the bus. We'll stand up. I don't care.
We're getting out of here. We're
going to leave.
So the bus was, the walkway of the bus is lined with equipment. Because at the time, it was a lot of equipment.
Yeah.
Right. It was 2010. We didn't have the compactness that we have now. So lots of equipment and us. Yeah. And the boys are just like dog tired, exhausted. We're just like falling into them the whole time. Like, sorry.
We stood in the aisle. I remember that. Held on to the luggage things. And that's how we made it back to the hotel.
And the game was a late starting game because we're on Eastern time. So it started at 8 o'clock. Mm-hmm. And we got back to the hotel. It was just past 11, I want to say, almost midnight. And Chip goes, fellas, you know, we're in Miami. We're in Miami, son. It's on my bucket list. Just put my toes in the waters of South Beach.
I ain't leaving until I dip my toes.
We have to leave the hotel at 7 in the morning to get to the airport.
Yeah, and Chip goes, it's a bucket list thing. We're here. How do you not want to put your toes in the waters of South Beach?
I'm not leaving until I dip my toes in the water.
And I said, well, I'm not letting you go by yourself, and I'm not tired. And then Mike Rogers goes, well, I can't let you go by yourself either. And Donny goes, well, I'm going too. And Millzer goes, guys, if you don't mind.
If y'all don't mind.
I'll stay back. Because I'm so tired.
Yeah.
It's like, thank you for cleaning that up. It was more like, I'm not going bleeping anywhere.
We're correct.
Okay.
But we have to check the 9 for profanity box on the podcast.
How many rooms did we have at the hotel? Just 2, right?
Two.
And we had 5 guys.
5 guys staying in 2 rooms.
Yeah.
So you and Millzer and Chip in a room. Me and Donny and Rogers are in another room.
Yep.
And we were drawing straws. He's going to sleep with each other. Yeah. And Roger said, "I'll just sleep on the floor, fellas. It's not even a question." I was like, "Well, good, because
he's a hardened firefighter. You know,
he's used to sleeping on hard cots and stuff."
When Millzer said, "I'm not going," that's when I said, "Okay, if anybody dies tonight, it'll be me."
He's going to be the one dragging behind.
It will be me because I got former SEC football player who's still in pretty good shape.
Fairly.
I got Will Barrett, who is a runner at the time.
Yeah.
Who
was a runner. I got Mike,
Mr. Fitness.
I got Mr. Fitness, Mike Rogers,
pull-up champion,
and then me. And I'm like, if we have to run, I'm going to die because Millzer's not here and I can outrun Millzer.
That's right. And you don't have to be the fastest one. You don't have to be the last.
Just don't be the last one.
And so Millzer drags himself and pours himself into the bed in his room.
Because, like you said, this has been a one complete day trip where we flew up there, and I had to get up there in a place I've never been in before and try to get everything set up. And
this is a highly emotional event for Millzer.
And what did I forget to take with me on the trip in the cab to South Beach?
Your wallet?
The key.
The key to the room.
The key to the room.
That's correct.
Right.
And that's what sets the whole thing up.
That's
foreshadowing.
That's what sets up part 2.
There's a foreshadowing of an event to come later.
As Paul Harvey says, the rest of the story.
Millzer's got both keys in the room, and he's absolutely unconscious. And we're on the way to South Beach in a cab that costs about $120.
Yeah, I think I paid for that cab too.
I think you did.
I did. You still haven't paid me back.
I told you we would.
Next time we go, we'll pay for it.
Next cab to South Beach is on Chip.
Thanks.
Yep. So we get to South Beach, and remember,
it's about 1 o'clock in the morning.
It's about 1 o'clock in the morning.
And the guy says, "Where y'all want to go?
Night.
Where y'all want to go?" And what did you say? Take us somewhere hot.
Take us to the hottest spot on South Beach.
Yeah.
And the guy goes, "Are you sure?" You don't look like you belong there.
Are you sure you want to be there?
You're not wearing anything funky. Remember, this is 2010 and LGBTQA plus alphabet soup is not really a thing yet, but it was at South Beach.
Yeah, yeah.
It was at South Beach, and it was in full force. Yeah. I mean, like Houdini says, the freaks come out at night.
Yeah, and just a little bit I didn't even see the full. It still looked like Miami Vice episode. Yeah.
There were Lambos and Ferraris around.
I remember I almost got killed. We were going to walk across the street.
Yeah.
And there was not a car coming, and there was one like 2 blocks over there. I took 2 steps out in the street, and all of a sudden
he was on you.
And I'm like, holy crap. I've never seen a lime green Ferrari before.
I saw things that night I'd never seen before. I saw people with hooves.
Yeah.
It was wearing like centaur stuff.
Centaur pants.
Pants. I was like, where do you even
and
get
they were
those?
sitting down outside
eating dinner at
1
o'clock in the morning. 5-course, 6, 7-course meals.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So we make it to the beach.
Dip our toes in the water, stand in the water, take a picture. There was a picture taken.
I have no idea where the picture's at. We did. We took the
I think
selfies
with like a digital camera.
Yeah,
right?
I don't remember.
iPhone 3 wasn't a great camera at the time.
Yeah,
but we did take a picture.
Yeah,
took the picture, got back in the car. Mike Rogers did his work and kept us safe.
Yeah,
and we're heading back to the hotel, to the Hotel Royal Essex, and we get there. It's after 2 in the morning.
Well, now Millzer needs to tell his story now about. Didn't you get some phone calls from while you were in your room?
Yeah, I did.
We were in South Beach when you get this phone call, right?
The first one.
No. I wasn't in South. Y'all wasn't in South Beach.
We were all the way back.
Y'all were all the way back.
We had gotten back, and there was 4 of us in our room.
Yeah, we were in. Remember, we went to our room.
Yeah, and you went to your room.
No. You didn't go to your room, and it's locked.
I came back. Y'all go. Y'all know Millzer's going to be pissed.
Exactly.
Because I ain't got the key. And,
right.
And you fixing to have to wake him up.
Yeah, yeah.
And this was a big risk at the time because I only know Millzer for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And it was just for football stuff. I didn't have the relationship I have with him now.
Yeah.
So it was a big step out for what happened next.
And the club is still rocking.
Club is bumping. Bumping. We're 5 floors up and can hear it.
So I got the nerve up to go knock on the door, right?
No.
Is there something in between this?
There's something in between.
There's something very much in between.
I said,
something happened.
Let me call him and wake him up. So I picked up the courtesy phone in the hotel room
that's right,
and dialed over to his room.
Dials room
and
212.
I want to thank Gabriel Iglesias for giving me this idea. One of the greatest comedians of our time. So I said, y'all watch this. So I called his room. It rings and rings. Probably rings 12 times. And then I hear.
And it's 3, maybe 3 o'clock.
Pushing 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And I hear.
Hello.
I said,
Sir, this is the receptionist in the lobby. We've had some noise complaints. You're gonna need to keep the noise down.
and then I hear,
Okay.
and he hangs it back up.
Yeah.
Okay,
hangs it back up.
Keep in mind, I'm one of these people that has to have something going on, like, an air conditioner, TV, fan, something running. So I had the TV on, but you could not, you would have to have your ear up to it to hear it. So I'm sitting there going, how is this messing with anybody with this TV? So I turned the TV off.
And then, so I was like, I think he went back to sleep. Let me call him back. I call him back. And this time it rings just a few times, like 6 or 7 times. And he's like, hello. I was like,
Sir? This is the lobby downstairs. You're gonna need to keep that noise down.
and he goes, I'm thinking he knows it's us.
Yeah.
And he goes, ma'am, you woke me from a dead sleep.
I turned the TV off.
I was like, that's fine, sir. Just keep the noise down.
And keep in mind, folks, the hottest nightclub in Miami is going on now. So while she's telling me this, all I can hear is boom, 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 boom.
And so now it's funny because he doesn't. Now we know he knows it's not.
Oh, Will knew he had his hooks in him.
I had the hook in,
and he's awake.
And he's awake. So I was like, one more time. So we wait a few minutes. By this time, Chip is planning his trip down the hall. That is classic.
That he's going to go.
And so call him again. Millzer wakes. Millzer answers the phone. This time he's angry. Hello? like, sir, if you can't keep the noise down, we're going to have you removed from the hotel. And he goes, I'm not making any noise. I'm not making any noise. And he slammed the phone down. And I was like, Chip, you better go get him now. I think he's awake. He's awake.
He's awake. He's awake.
And
And keep in mind now, Will is cleaning this up very mightily.
Yeah. And so,
because at this point, I was sleep deprived, woke from a dead sleep, and had some lady telling me I'm disturbing guests in a hotel.
Snoring
in the
way
hottest,
too loud.
Once again, the hottest nightclub in Miami.
So Chip thinks, okay, I can't just walk down the hall and knock on the door and let me in. No, I got to take it to the next level. So what does he do? He strips down to his underwear and walks down the hall and bangs on the door.
I'm coming back.
And Millzer swings it open, and Chip's like, "What's up?"
I'm in my underwear. What's up, Millzer? And he goes, shut up. They're going to throw us out. He's just going nuts. And I'm going, oh. I said, okay. So I go in and said, I guess we'll just get some sleep. And by this time, it's
5 in the morning. 5 o'clock.
And we're leaving in like 2 hours.
We've had a great time with Millzer. And the joke is not over.
Yeah, that's right.
Because you didn't tell him that it was us. You didn't let it out. I was like, okay,
right.
just go to sleep. And so we get up the next morning.
And I make it down before breakfast.
You do.
Y'all were there before Millzer.
Yes.
Of course.
So I tell y'all.
Yeah, because I don't think we went to sleep.
Because he's really sleep deprived.
And angry.
You know, and so I'm like, hey, guys, man, we don't need to bring this up, man. You know.
And I can't let it rest.
Then you tell the rest.
So we all migrate over to Chip and Stacy's room to
Y'all thought it was at breakfast that you broke it to him.
No. It was we were
that's right.
I think we were meeting to go to breakfast.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I
and Millzer starts to think it's not me making the noise. It's got to be the people next door.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
It's got to be the people next door. And so
We started to leave.
Chip wakes up and he goes, Mill, did you sleep good last night? It's like, I slept fine until the hotel started calling because these freaking people next door. And he's banging on the wall. They're making all this racket. It's probably woke them up in the process. And then Chip goes, well, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry. And then they come over they come down the hall to our room, and it's me and Mike and Millzer and Chip. We're all in there, and Donny's in there, all 5 of us. And Millzer's just rubbing his head. And he's
red, bloodshot eyes.
He's like, I'm so ticked off. I'm so mad. I'm gonna go downstairs and I'm gonna chew that lady out, and I'm gonna do some stuff. And I looked at him and went,
Sir, you need to keep the noise down.
and he said something to me that he hadn't said since, and I can't say it on the air.
Yeah.
But it sounded like the sun on the beach.
I will.
Yeah.
I must eat you.
Well, guys, I'm gonna try something here while we're doing this. I got a special guest that's that we're calling in on here, and so just give me a second. It's the first time we're gonna take a call on here, so this may or may not work, but we're gonna give it a shot. Hang on just a second.
There we go.
Are we bringing the man in?
Mister.
Oh, I hear it.
Yeah.
Hello, sir.
How are you?
All right.
Who is this guy?
It's the man.
Is that
Hey, this is the one and only
Chief of Security Mike Rogers?
Chief of Security Mike Rogers.
Not the senator, the security chief.
I am not the congressman.
Wow.
Please make that known. I am not the congressman.
Well, welcome to the preferred experience, Mike.
Well, thank you.
Well,
I'm actually at Lake Martin.
I figured you were doing something like that.
Which resembles South Beach. I am pretty close to South Beach. A few more trees, and although the houses are nice, probably not near as nice. So,
but are there any? Is there any any areas taped off over there because of open homicides from the night before?
There are no taped off areas as of yet, but the day is still early. So, yeah.
Man,
Yeah. So,
we were just talking about the Miami trip and how we couldn't have gotten through it without our chief of security there with us. And it was your job to keep the homicide to a minimum. amongst the crew, and you did it with flying colors.
Yeah.
But we would like to hear a little bit about your perspective of that event.
Well, number one, I was really kind of wanting. I really didn't know why I was going until I think it was 4:30 that morning when we were eating Chip Powell sauce at the Subway, or I can't even remember what it was.
You're right.
Subway at the Montgomery Airport.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I've been back to that airport several times since then, and it's still closed. So I guess they ran out of Chip Powell sauce. So after it quit being demanded for, they just closed it.
Yeah.
And then wants to find out that when we landed in Miami, that y'all wanted me to walk in front of you and say, "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Prattville Line broadcasting team."
He did it.
Well, listen, Mike, when did you decide, or when did you know that you were getting a free trip? I know Cal was playing, but how did that come about as far as, because you got flown down there with the crew, man?
Yeah, I mean, I think I begged, and you told me that I had to pay $200 you and Will and Stacy, but just to give the money to you, and you would make sure that Will and Stacy got it.
Yeah.
You know, I never saw my cut, but that's okay.
Well, but hey, I did my part.
Yes, you did.
But no, in all actuality, I just said, hey, if there's any room, I would love to go. And then, of course, I was hanging out in the booth with y'all.
Right.
Praise the Lord.
At different games and kind of learning from the best. And then, hey, y'all said, hey, this is the deal. We can get you a plane ticket, but you're going to have to sleep on the floor.
That's right.
And I was like, man, I sleep on the floor all the time. So if you ever slept in a fire department bed, it's just like sleeping in the floor.
Yeah.
That was not a problem. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it was just amazing that back then the radio station that we were broadcasting on. I mean, I'm sitting there going, there's no way. There's no way they're going to let us go broadcast. They literally said, okay, how many people you need?
And then we said, do we need this, and we need a security guy? And they go, okay, sure.
Sure, I guess so. Why not?
Absolutely. I mean,
you need two?
He's a exactly. I mean, he's a public servant. I don't know if
he is
a gun, but he is a public servant.
But then so they arranged all the tickets and everything, and then we realized it was leave 7 o'clock one morning, leave 7 o'clock the next morning.
Yeah, there was no time for sightseeing unless you did it between midnight and 2.
And that's what we did.
Yeah.
Which we did.
And, we wouldn't have done that if it wouldn't have been for Chip Powell.
That's right.
Because, I mean, if I heard it once, I heard it 50 times. Man, we may never see South Beach again.
What do you want to do, Mike? What do you want to do?
This close. If we don't at least go down there and put our feet in the sand, we will regret it forever.
Yes.
I'm putting my toes in the water.
Oh, man.
Who would know we're still talking about it 12 years later?
Yeah. And Halloween night in South Beach is no time to just be browsing around at midnight to 1 a.m.
You know what? That's a good thought, but I forgot it was Halloween night.
Yeah.
I really did. I forgot it was Halloween.
You were dialed in on keeping people safe.
That's right, yeah.
I was still trying to figure out once I got there and figured out that the football team, not only us, but the football team, 150 boys and about 29 coaches were staying at the hottest nightclub in central Miami was right below the hotel.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we didn't think this out.
How are we going to keep these kids out of here?
Coach Bam must have planned this. Trip.
Bam set it all up.
Yeah, hey, first 10:30. That's right. 10:30, y'all got to be in your bed. Don't let me see you out. And I won't let you come down to this bar. So...
Has anybody been back to South Beach since?
I have.
You have? I have not been back there.
I have been back to South Beach.
But I did. Me and another guy drove his boat from Prattville to Key West.
Prattville to Key West.
To go fishing for a week.
Would y'all go to Togga Creek?
I sniffed South Beach as we rode by. But
okay.
But Beach.
Oh, I
But that
thought you
wasn't-
meant like you
boat
went
down
down
there.
Alabama River to the Gulf and on down.
Oh, no. No,
That
when
would be
I
a
say
trip.
pulled the boat, I mean, we pulled the boat. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
14 hours. Yeah, straight through.
Ooh.
But I'll tell you this.
Dude, there has to be some good fish to go 14 hours.
Yes, sir.
It is. It's got to be Hemingway
Well,
style.
different. You know, it's kind of like South Beach going, for 32 hours. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just good friends, good memories, and he's
That
like,
was
hey,
fun.
you got to pull the boat down there. So I'm like, hey, I'll go with you.
Yeah.
And live split. So it was good time. Good
Yeah.
time.
Yeah,
we were right before we called you. We were just reliving the post Miami the South Beach trip events in the hotel with me about getting thrown out for making too much racket with the hottest nightclub in Miami right below me.
I mean, why else did y'all need security?
Exactly. To keep us safe from Millzer.
Yeah.
Millzer, you don't remember this because you went to bed, you retired. all that taking down broadcasting you were doing, you were wore out, and you were not all about going to South Beach. So obviously you go all the time. But so the funny part was once we got on the beach and we're walking, and it's very clear that it's very dark and there's nobody there but us, that we could tell. And Donny Burnett goes, "Man, I'm screwed." Chip goes, "What are you talking about? You're screwed." He goes, "Man, I'm here with a fireman who can run like the wind. Powell's a world-class athlete, and Will Barrett is also an athlete that runs all the time." And he goes, "And I'm just a slow ass." He said, "If something goes down, y'all going to take off running, and I'm going to be the last one."
I'm going to die.
And do y'all remember walking down the sidewalk and when that woman started walking toward him and she went, "Oh, yeah." And then kind of behind for Donny.
I do
Y'all
remember
remember
that. I do remember that.
Do you remember that?
She
I don't
likes-
remember that.
I do.
I
She
don't
liked
either.
Donny.
I don't want to-
She like. I think she was the one in the centaur
We were walking
hooves.
out here, she got about 15 feet from us and she was like, "Oh, yeah." She got on her hands and started
I
walking
remember
towards
She
us.
let out a big one like, "Oh yeah!" Like Kool-Aid had just seen Kool-Aid Jr.
Gotta go.
Gotta go, guys. Gotta go.
Oh, man.
Oh yes.
Oh,
Yeah, that was, man, what a great trip. That was so
That
awesome.
was fun.
That
You
was
know, all we got to do is win 3 or 4 more state championships. We can get another trip like that.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, hey, I'm already disappointed I didn't get invited to Chip's honeymoon. So, I mean, if y'all do get to go back.
I was going to broadcast it. He didn't let us.
Yeah. And if y'all do get to go back and I don't get invited, I'm going to be really mad.
Oh, there's no doubt.
You'll have to go,
Yeah.
man.
The
I
fifth
mean,
the
because-
final piece of the
because
puzzle's
I'm
got to
about-
go.
I am about 25 pounds fatter than I was back then, but
Same.
I'm still
Yeah,
pretty
me
good. I can
too.
still be skinny.
And Donnie's a little lighter than he was.
I'm
back
probably
then.
the lightest.
Yeah.
I'm probably the lightest one in the group.
yeah
now.
shortest
Oh.
but lightest.
Yeah.
Lighter. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm
Not any faster. Not any faster, but
No,
lighter.
no, not faster.
I'm about 100 pounds lighter from then.
And Millzer might actually go with us if we go somewhere again.
No, you'll be
I
too
doubt-
tired.
I doubt it, but it's a good thought.
Yeah.
Mills is probably the smart one in the group. He just said, I'm going to go to bed, guys. Y'all have fun.
Well, Millzer, on nights like that, you can't expect Millzer to do much more than the game because it's so emotional for him.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't recall anything
Well-
being destroyed at Traz Powell Stadium by Millzer.
I don't either. Yeah. I
do.
don't. I mean, I
But
think
y'all, I don't know if y'all saw it, but yeah, well, I know y'all did. Y'all just done forgot it. No, I'm gonna bring it back up. Remember, of course, the internet was not working there at all.
Correct.
And I was having trouble connecting as usual, and I had my usual reaction to that event, and I slung my headset off, and it hit Coach Jody in the head.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I do. I forgot about Coach
seems like
Jody.
I faintly remember that. Yeah.
So there was
I think I
a
faintly
casualty.
remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we did inflict harm on one of the coaches.
We did.
And he's gone now, so
Yeah,
it's fine.
he's gone. He's
That's
fine.
right. Yeah. maybe the reason why.
Yeah, I think I finally ran them off.
Jody was about 5'3", wasn't he? I mean, it wasn't like your fault.
Well, that's what I'm
You
saying.
threw it on the ground.
I'm throwing low.
Yeah.
So if I do hit somebody, it should hit him in the knee or the
Struck him square in the dome.
Right in the dome.
Wow. Yeah. Hey, do y'all? And I knew I'd forget his name. Played at Florida State. Now he's playing in the
Yep. Devonte Freeman.
String running back.
Freeman.
Huh?
Yeah.
Well, Devonte Freeman was the lead running back, and the other guy was the backup. Cal said.
They had another one.
Yeah.
But played for Florida State. Little guy.
Yeah, the one that came
running
in. Yeah.
Yeah. I
I know.
can't even remember his name.
I know.
But,
Yeah, I remember him.
Deion Sanders.
No, if I said his name, you would know it. Played at Florida State, running back, real small guy, real small, and now he plays in the pros.
Dalvin Cook.
Dalvin Cook was the second.
That sure is. I just
Yeah.
oh my God,
Yeah.
I just
I
remember
think he was
that.
a freshman.
Yeah. He was
we played with
young.
them guys.
That's right.
We played with them guys for 3 quarters.
Yeah.
We did. We had him knotted up at 28 going into the fourth quarter.
Yep, and then they just kind of
They brought in their second team.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they brought in Dalvin Cook before he only had 200 yards.
Yeah.
In the fourth quarter.
Yeah, on about 6 carries.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're sitting there with the quarterback that is the all-time leading passer from Marshall. So
When Devontae was tired, I mean, I could see it. He had carried the ball 24 times, and he was an old man. He's like 22 years old out there toting the mail. I mean,
That's right. Well, when Luke Skywalker is one of your assistant coaches, I mean, I mean, which kind of explain the big boom box in the middle of the field during the game.
Yeah. But we have to give one thing. I think that right there was the inspiration to finally letting DJ Haynes start setting up for Prattville games.
Exactly.
Yeah.
DJ can thank Luke Skywalker.
He can thank Luke. I mean, if Luke can do it, so can DJ.
Yeah.
I mean, exactly. Yeah, DJ Haynes. Yeah. Hey, what else was I going to say? Oh, another memory that I had of that trip that I'll never forget was we was in that restaurant, I think at 1:30 in the morning, eating whatever we were eating. And I remember joking around with the waitress because it said happy hour 4 to 6. And I said, well, I guess I'm too late for happy hour. And y'all may not remember this, but the girl said, oh, no, that's 4 a.m. to 6 a.m.
You're early.
You're early.
I don't remember eating.
You don't,
I don't remember that.
We did.
I do.
We ate in South Beach?
No.
Mm-mm.
At the hotel restaurant.
We
The
went-
hotel, that little restaurant right next to the hotel we went and ate at because we
That's
said,
where
well,
you
we'll
get-
eat there.
that was lunch when we got there.
No, it was also
No,
a late
this was-
dinner.
See, I
after the
don't
ball
even
game, we
remember
went
eating there.
Well, it
Yeah,
was
well, after the ball game, we
half
went over there
asleep.
and ate.
Oh no, I didn't eat.
Oh.
I didn't eat because I ate because we did the Taste of Miami.
That's right.
And
You ate
when
at
I
the
was over at the concession stand, they were just kept giving me food, and I did not go eat. I remember that.
We ate at the same restaurant after the game that we ate before.
Yeah.
Plus,
Yeah.
you couldn't
I
afford
went
to
there
eat
for
because
the
you spent
second
all
one,
your
but
money on the
Yeah,
cab.
and I had no more money. I had no money to eat on because I spent
it's
$120
because-
on a cab.
It's because they told us you might want to just eat at that restaurant because you don't want to go anywhere outside the perimeter.
Because you can't cross the street.
Yeah.
That is very true, Mills. That is when the guy said you're on the most dangerous street in all of Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
There's cartels running up down the road.
Yeah.
The most dangerous street. Yeah, I mean, it was in that restaurant that I got the most inspirational speech I've ever heard in my life.
From
Guys, we are this close to South Beach and don't go. We will be there for the rest of our lives.
like in the old Tim Tebow's beats.
I mean, it was.
One beach for the rest of our lives.
That's right. It was so inspirational. I went, and I've never been back because I didn't want to destroy the moment.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, that was cool though. That was cool.
Well, Mike,
Yeah.
I'm so glad you called in because you validated everything that's been said already. And like people can know now this really happened. We're not making any of this up. So,
We are not. Yeah. I mean, we may joke, smoke, and take jokes, but we don't lie.
no, we do not lie. No.
That's it. We do not lie. That's right.
Yes. You might be addicted to opioids if you ask Chip Powell, but
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
but we do not lie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
do
enjoy
not
the
lie.
lake, son. Go enjoy the lake.
I will.
He's
Hey, man,
probably
I
building a
appreciate
house
the
over
call
there.
and bringing up some great memories. That was a great trip.
Hey, don't be a stranger this football season.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I actually went back to my very first one last year when I played Stanhope, and that's painful to say, but yeah, I did. So
all four.
But I must say now, I will say this, and then I'll let y'all go. I went, and you can take this as you want to. I went from being a football, baseball dad at Prattville in the heyday times to now I'm a cheer dad at PCA.
Oh my goodness. Full circle.
Yeah.
I mean, the circle of life is coming.
That's when you're not building custom homes.
Yes.
That is when I'm not building customary homes.
Yes.
That's right. Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you, if you
Mike's custom homes. Yeah, just remember that.
Mike's
right.
custom homes.
There you go.
That's right. Yeah. So
You do fantastic work, by the way.
Yeah, he does.
And he does fantastic work, and the place is secured because he is.
That's right.
He's a former head of security.
Yeah.
The original head of security.
The
and
original.
once again, I owe it all to an inspirational speech at 1:30 at night in Miami. I mean, that inspired me to start my own business and become the person that I am.
And that's just one in the one inspirational piece in the long line of Chip Powell inspirations over the years.
And a long line of Chip Powell inspirations over the years. That is correct.
Absolutely.
All right, now since you mentioned it right before you go, we'll interpret that speech
The one you gave?
that I gave to Mike to make him go to South Beach, but say it in my voice.
All right. This is Chip Powell. Listen, fellas. We sitting here 45 minutes from South Beach, son. We might not ever come this way again. You don't know. We could die tonight. Let's get in a cab. I don't care what it costs. Donny will pay for it. And let's go down there. I'm putting my feet in the sand, my toes in the water, and I don't care if I got to go by myself, son. And then we're all like, I'll run through a wall for that, man. I'm going to South Beach with Chip Powell. And it was on.
Right.
I don't care if I don't eat the rest of the way.
I'm doing this for Chip.
Oh, man.
Take my money.
I mean, after finding out we was in the most dangerous place in all of Miami, I felt a little better going South Beach.
Yeah. Only the second most dangerous.
I felt better in getting the cab with Abdul than I did
In the cab with Abdul.
Walking back to my hotel.
He said he was in the cab with Abdul.
Did he bring us back too? Was he the same dude?
I
don't really remember how he got back.
I really don't.
No,
I think Mike got a limo and we came back in a limo.
If you remember though, we said, hey, we want you to pick us up in about 30 or 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And he said, sure, I will. And I think Chip or Donny said, hey, give me your number so we can call you back. So the guy gave us his number, and I swear, 30 seconds later, his phone starts ringing, and he goes, hello, and I think it was Donny went, I should check and see if you gave us the real number.
Forgot about that. That's
That's a man that's been conned before.
I forgot about that.
There's
That is
so
correct.
many little nuances in that trip that we all have to come together to figure out because we're old people now.
That's right. Let's not wait 13 years before we do it again.
Let's not.
Yeah.
Let's not.
Ooh.
We got to get
That's right.
these.
Hey, next time y'all have broadcasts, if you want to, we can invite Charlie Neighbors and Jason Langley
Yes.
and me, Chip, and Jason, and
Charlie.
Charlie will visit 12 hours of laughter in a 10-by-10 hunting cabin pouring down.
Yeah, that's a great time too. We could
That
do that one day.
We try not to associate with Charlie Neighbors, though.
Well, I don't blame you. I mean,
One of the greatest guys I've ever met.
he is one of the greatest guys. Next to Jim Powell and Will.
Yes.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
course.
And Donny.
Excluding present company.
Yeah.
And excluding President.
Yeah.
See, that's why Will's on radio. He's so much more polished than I am. I mean,
You just build the homes, we live in them.
Yeah. There you go.
Well, thanks, Mike.
all right,
Yeah,
guys,
Mike.
thanks for calling in. Yeah,
All right.
see y'all.
See you.
All right, bye.
Did he just thank us for calling in?
He did.
He did. Yeah.
We were on the Mike Rogers broadcast.
And he's lining up his next show.
I think he was just thanking us because he was he really enjoyed to reliving that.
He vouched our truth Because he said everything exactly.
He remembered a lot.
You know, we've shared these stories together over the years, you know, going back and forth with him. But, you know, Mike, we really hadn't talked to about the stories. But you see how much, you know, you would think, you know, some people is, oh, that's just something that happened. Ain't no big deal. I mean, it's still a big event in his life, too. He remembers every detail.
Yeah. And you wait for part 2 that'll come up later.
Oh, man.
When the coaches come and tell their story.
Because you think we had a time? Yeah. No, sir.
What they had to go through was a little more in depth.
Yeah. I mean, having half the team fly on one day.
No, 3. It was 3 different.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
3 different flights.
3 different flights. Got kids and coaches scattered out. You can't practice because
you don't got everybody.
You got half the offense and a quarter of the defense there.
Promised to get the head coach back to his meeting to the state meeting the next next morning. They promised they'd have a flight for him, and the flight that they scheduled for him, he would have had to left in the third quarter to make the flight.
Yep.
And that's before Zoom.
Yeah.
You can't just zoom into those meetings.
Yeah.
But anyway, what a night.
What a
Miami.
night.
October 31st, 2010, and November 1st, parts of it.
Yeah.
2 days that will live in infamy.
Yeah, very much so.
Well, it's time. It's time now for Poetic Justice. And this is the first time.
Y'all putting me in pressure, man.
Well, we're putting
Poetic justice? I ain't ready for poetic justice. I have to have tranquility, quiet, peacefulness.
That's why you won't record it while we're around?
That's why he won't do it.
Yeah, that's why he has to do it.
We will record this after y'all boys get out of here.
Once you have your tranquil...
Because y'all don't have the appreciation or love for it.
I love poetry. You say that all the time, and I love poetry. I'll recite one right now. There once was a man from Nantucket.
Check mark.
Check mark. Check mark.
Check mark.
Checkmate.
I do, and then I'm not in the mood right now. I got to be in a certain mood.
So you just come and lay it down whenever it hits you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll skip it for now and get it. Just dub it in later.
Yeah, it is coming in. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
But
welcome to another episode of Poetic Justice. I'm your host, Chip Powell. We've been talking lately about my co-host joining us, but I understand he was at a Pensacola Poetry Fest this past week, and this week he's actually in another poetic festival in Saskatchewan. But he'll be joining us hopefully next week. The guy loves poetry. And, you know, that's what Poetic Justice is. It's a celebration of the beautiful art of poetry. Today we come with the 19th century superstar poet, Emily Dickinson. I know y'all all think you know who she is, but I'm going to break it down the way that we do on this show. The name of it is... It doesn't sound, when I announce the title, it doesn't sound exciting. And again, I apologize before I get started. This is another dark poem. And I've got to get away from the darkness. But my co-host is going to add to the light, I think so. But this is called, I Heard a Fly Buzz. I heard a fly buzz when I died. The stillness in the room was like the stillness in the air between the heaves of storm. The eyes around had wrung them dry, and breaths were gathering firm for that last onset when the king be witnessed in the room. I willed my keepsakes signed away, what portion of me be assignable, and then it was, there interposed a fly, with blue uncertain stumbling buzz between the light and me, and when the windows failed, and then I could not see to see. Now, the regular people like Donny, Burnett, and Will Barrett, and Stacy Mills, they don't have a clue what this is. All I can say is, wow. The famous opening line, fly buzzing around, is cool. Yeah, it's cool, but yet the speaker in this poem is dead now. I mean, wow. And the speaker is telling about what happened to her on her deathbed. Now, we say her, but it could be a male she's talking about. Or the speaker's a male. Emily usually, I mean, this is stuff I know, that you're learning here. Emily usually adopted a male voice. So listen, the point is moot. I'm going to break this poem down by Emily. This is so dark that it explains why Emily never married and she rarely left her bedroom. That's all I got to say about that poem. Thanks again for joining another exhilarating episode of Poetic Justice with me, Chip Powell. Thank you.
But what we do have time for is the Motivational Minute with Coach Donny Burnett.
Yes, that's a good way to end this segment.
We can always do the Motivational Minute.
It's time to put the coach's hat on, time to put the athletic director, head coach hat on, and motivate this squad for a week of hard charging.
Yeah, and the heat, man.
Oh, wow.
Wednesday was brutal. I don't know if y'all know this, but I thought my pressure washing crew was going to die. I almost died that day.
I can see that.
117 degrees.
You know what I would think when I'd walk from my office to the car, which is about 50 feet. I was going, good gosh, I'm sweating bullets just on the walk. I said, we used to practice football in this stuff.
Yeah. Oh, God. I got three old guys out cleaning concrete at the schools.
Oh, man.
And when I
feel for you,
when I got to my truck, we finished up, got in 4:26 in the afternoon. I cranked up the truck, and the little temperature pops up 117.
117.
117. I got video.
Y'all need to weigh before
video
you
proof.
In the morning. Weigh yourself, and then weigh after you get
That's
there.
why I'm down in the 2-0 numbers now.
Yeah.
So, and I need to keep it that way because I got to go back to the doctor July the 5th. So, man, I'm like not going to drink any water the week before. I get down to about 180. Go in there, and Doc will be proud of me for losing weight. Then I can start eating carbs again.
Then you can have fall. Yeah.
Then I can have carbs again. So, anyway.
Go with it. Go for it.
So, we're going to go with we're ready to start. All right. So, here we go. No, I'm still doing the same old. This is Coach Donny Burnett. Okay. All right. And then we'll preface into it. All right, here we go. This is Coach Donny Burnett with your Motivational Minute. Today's quote comes from the great quote. What the word is I'm looking for?
Quoter.
Quotologist.
Will's got a
motivational speaker.
Okay.
There you go.
Let me tell you, because he is a great motivational speaker. The hip-hop preacher himself, Eric Thomas.
Eric Thomas.
And if you don't know who Eric Thomas is,
Inky.
You got to go look him up on YouTube. He's unbelievable. We'll fire you up.
He's the one with the arm, right?
No. This is Eric Thomas. This is E.T.
Yeah,
when you want to breathe as bad as when you want to be as successful as bad as you want to breathe.
Oh, yeah.
Great stuff, man. Look him up, Eric Thomas. So here we go. You can't cheat the grind. It knows how much you've invested. It won't give you nothing you haven't worked for. So don't be upset with the results you don't get from the work that you didn't do. This is Coach Donny Burnett and your Motivational Minute.
Yes.
Yeah.
You like his use of double negatives. Yeah. Won't give you nothing means it will give you something.
And I noticed it was a little bit more detailed than last week's.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
You didn't like that?
I loved it.
Man,
that was so good.
I love Bagger Vance.
Golf's a game you can't win. This has been Donny Burnett.
Well, I was trying to, I wanted to mix it in. Well, I know y'all were going to be talking about the golf tournament, so I wanted to give you a little golf.
It was hilarious. It was perfect.
But speaking of, and then, this week I was trying to find a Uncle Luke quote, but you just really couldn't get anything.
Put your head up high and break down low and hydraulic to the flow.
So, Chip, what was your favorite 2 Live Crew song?
I don't remember the names of the songs.
It's just how they make you feel.
I remember the beat. I remember the beat like you were talking about, the beat and how it hit you. But I can't remember. What were some of the names of them?
That's just it. We can't really say the names.
Once again, I do not want to check the explicit content box, so we cannot say.
Yeah, and because, back in the I was not allowed to listen to Two Live Crew, and my mom may actually hear this podcast because
nobody was actually allowed to listen to Two Live Crew.
and I did because I always did what Mom told me, and like you be ill, and we couldn't sing that song at our house. You would get punched in the face. But
hey, I got to. You're talking about being allowed, and that's no joke. That album, Two Live Crew, as nasty as they want to be, was banned.
Yeah.
It was banned. But I have a story.
They even had a song banned in the USA.
Yep.
Yeah.
To get that CD, me and one Phil Shanholzer of D&J Auto Parts, he knew a guy.
Who knew a guy?
So we got to know the secret handshake, whatever you want to, at a small record store over on Fairview Avenue.
You're kidding.
And we went in there, shook his hand. He went to the back, came back out, and lo and behold, the banned out CD was handed to us at that point.
Had a copy.
We had a copy because
I'm disappointed in you, Millzer, that you own that.
Because Phil Shanholzer knew a guy.
Phil Shanholzer knows a guy. D&J Auto Parts.
But yeah, I do not think I even knew who Two Live Crew was until
I remember the names.
Oh, I remember who they were, but
what they did.
I know the name about every song on there. I can't say them.
No,
you literally can't say them.
You can't say them, and you better not sing them. And
no, you better not.
Well, there is the "Hey, we want to party."
Yeah,
there's that version.
Oh yeah,
yeah. That's the version that you can say.
That's that TNT version.
They didn't sing "Bridge Over Troubled Water."
No.
That's Simon and Garfunkel.
No.
Yeah.
They sang "I Get Around," I think.
Yeah.
They have some. They got some great songs, man. I'm just going to tell you, it's
Well, you being a poet laureate like yourself, you probably would appreciate the rhyming prowess of Luke Skywalker, Uncle.
Yeah, and he got a lot of that from 19th century poet Emily Dickinson. A lot of that transition.
Emily. That was Angie Dickinson, man. That was Policewoman.
Angie Dickinson. Angie Dickinson's Larry King's favorite actor.
Emily Dickinson.
Emily Dickinson.
Yeah. Walking through the woods on a snowy evening. That's right.
Yeah.
Robert Frost.
Yeah. In fact, I did Robert last week.
You did?
I don't know.
I think 2 weeks in a row you did Robert Frost.
Fire and Ice.
And Road Less Traveled.
Yeah.
2 Robert Frosts.
Yeah.
I think you like him a lot.
So,
I do like him.
Revelation. That's one song we can say from Two Live Crew. And yeah.
It's not the revelation we're thinking about.
Yeah.
And let's say that.
It's not the biblical revelation.
That's pretty much it. Well, yeah, it pretty much is.
Hey, stop playing. Oh. And that's it.
That's it.
Oh, you can.
There's 42 more songs that I cannot say the name of unless Millzer has to click that explicit box, and I'm not saying them. Holy smokes!
Oh boy. Well, guys, this has been fantastic. And
this is what this podcast is supposed to be.
And we're gonna, we'll do this more often. We'll come up together and do stories. Of course, we don't want to get them every week because then they'll become. Then we'll lose audiences fast that way. But we're gonna have a lot of people coming in and reliving memories and all that stuff. But every once in a while, we're gonna get the group together to relive because there's some good quality stories that have yet to be told.
Mm-hmm. There are some good quality. One we have to relive one day is the Central Phoenix City. Was it the
Lost Ticket?
The lost ticket semifinal game.
Yeah, the Lost Ticket, the Lost Auburn Ticket semifinal game.
Lost ticket, lost
14 degrees
at the Tallahassee Guthrie's.
Yeah, there was a lost ticket. There was a missing shirt. And there was a lot of other things.
14 degrees and Chip's begging me to swap places
14 degrees inside, 98 degrees out. 98 degrees inside, 14 degrees outside.
Chip says, hey, man, let me come down to do sideline.
I said, in a tank top.
Hey, they do that on ESPN all the time.
They do.
They swap.
They do.
Like
Beth will go down and Rocky will come up.
Hey, Rocky!
I was freezing, but there was no way I was going up there. I could look and see Will and Chip in one 14-inch section of the press box, and Millzer's got the whole rest of the press box to himself.
Yeah, we're pressed up against it. Give the man space.
But that's for another show.
That's for another show.
That's
exactly right.
That's another story.
So, boys, thank you. Thanks for coming in. And this was fun. I didn't know it'd be this fun.
Lunchtime.
Yeah.
All right. Preferred Experience, episode 4 in the books. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time. And as always, good night. God bless and go Lions.
All right, it's going to do it for this week. Man, Will, love you coming in, pinch hitting, and dude, you hit a grand slam tonight.
Well, expect nothing less from me, Daryl. I'm the best.
All right, it's going to do it.